Clap it up for Zoltan, you guys. Clap it up for Zoltan.
Hey, thank you. Yep. Woo! You can turn off that hip hop. All right. They picked that for me. They're like, Zoltan's coming up. We better put on some jams, you know? 'Cause that's who I am. All right, or not. Everyone got quiet. This is good. This feels very weird. This feels like I'm doing a show for spirits. I just see candles. I hear laughter, but I don't see any faces. This sounds like a nightmare that I've had once. This whole year has been. I mean, I'm doing a show at the park. I mean, if someone would have came up to me in January and they said in 9 months you're gonna do a show at the park, I'd be like, why? What happened? Like, what? Did I get Me Too'd? What the hell happened? Why am I no longer allowed indoors? And they're like, oh no, don't worry, it's gonna be the end of the world. Definitely feels like it, man. There's protests, there's riots, there's violence, there's viruses, there's hurricanes. God is trying to ruin his Sim City. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else is like this. This made me feel old. I don't like that we did this at the bottom of the hill. This is such an awful walk back to my car. Like, my back's hurting just from standing there because I'm at a tilt. I'm at an age now where I gotta be on, level it out, you know? Or don't invite me. If your stuff's on a slant, I'm not going. This is how I have to stand while I'm over there trying to do my draft. That's what I got here. I'm doing my fantasy football draft. It's late round, so when it comes up, we're gonna do a consensus pick. 'Cause I don't know who these guys are. Just watching fake sports with no audience. That's fun, isn't it? Anyone doing that? Watching the fake sports with no crowd? Yeah. I just feel like I was watching basketball. It felt like I was on the sidelines at the Y, just waiting to get tapped into a pickup game. It's like, oh, they're gonna get me soon. Harden's fat. He can't play the whole game. Yeah, you gotta know sports to get that one. It's been horrible. Yeah, I haven't been into it. I didn't like it, and I still don't. The only thing I've been doing is just buying stuff on Amazon. When a new package drops off at my doorstep, I'm happy for 10 seconds. That's it. I'm sad all day, and then they drop something off, and I'm like, something. And I'm buying stuff I don't need. Like, I bought a French press. That's what I bought during the pandemic. I bought a French press. And I only bought it because, like, I needed making coffee to take up more of my day. I used to have a Keurig, and Keurig was for the life we used to have when I was on the go. I had flights to catch, and I needed just to drop in a thing and go. I gotta go. There's an Uber waiting. I need the coffee. But now I'm like, I Googled what's the longest way to make coffee. And there was a picture of this archaic machine called the French press. And I'm like, sold, give me that. And that's perfect. I gotta boil water now. I had to buy a kettle. I didn't have a kettle. Who has a kettle? This isn't England. I don't have a queen. I had to buy a kettle, then I gotta boil water, and then I put the dirt in the cup, and then I just, it takes like 20 minutes to make coffee, and that's great. And then I only have 23 hours and a half left to cry until the next day that I need coffee. I also bought a projector. That was the other dumb purchase I made. I bought a projector only because I had taken a little edible and I was watching TV in my living room, and I was like, yeah, but what if I want to watch TV on that wall? Or on that wall? Or the ceiling? I need a projector. And then I got one. Still haven't plugged it in, but it's there. I've been focusing on things that didn't matter. Like I got an ad on Instagram that told me I was slouching too much, which they're watching me too strong to notice that. Like, it's one thing to hear my voice and go, I want a couch, and then you flood me with couch ads. But to know that I'm slouching, that's terrifying. And I do slouch. I didn't notice till they set the ad, and I'm like, oh, I looked in the mirror, and there I was, just doing this. And I'm like, how do they know? Damn it. And they were selling some dumb rubber bands that you tie around your shoulders so you can walk around like someone you hate, you know? You know, I didn't buy the rubber bands, but I tried to not just slouch, I was like trying to be conscious of it. I'm like, shoulders back, tits up, trying to be good. And you know what I found out? This hurts. Like, this hurts my back. Not slouching hurts right in the middle of my spine. You know what feels good? Right there. That feels amazing. I've never complained. Right here? Ugh. You know what I figured out? The dude in the middle of the evolutionary chart, that guy had it dead on. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not talking about the guy all the way off to the left walking on all fours, but that guy in the middle, that's a good guy. The guy at the end just walking upright, that guy will have sex with your girlfriend and not even think twice about it. He works at a CrossFit gym and he doesn't care about you. It's Trevor's time to shine, always. That's not a good guy. That guy in the middle with the shoulders rolled forward, that's a good guy, all right? He'll never one-up your stories, he'll always listen. He'll pick you up at the airport. That's a solid individual. So if you slouch, don't feel bad about it. It just means you're a good human. And if you have a straight back, well, congrats on all the sexing you're having. Because that's solid work right there. It's been weird. I haven't enjoyed any of this. I like the people that are like, I like it. This has been, no you don't. Shut up. Stop faking it. Just be honest. It sucks. It sucks, but it's not good enough to complain about later, Like, I know when I'm a grandparent, one of my grandkids are gonna ask me, like, hey, what was the pandemic like? And I'm like, it was we couldn't go outside sometimes, and then we had to wear a mask, and that's how I found out I was deaf. I didn't know I had been reading lips for 33 years of my life until I was forced to wear a mask at a grocery store, and I was yelling through it because I couldn't see the lips of the cashier. I accidentally donated to some kids in a country I've never heard of, and I was trying to say no, but she didn't hear that, and I didn't hear her say her piece. It's been bad, Fought with your grandmother. Why? Because she was just around a lot. She had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to go. And I'm like, well, we're here. Let's do it, That's what it was. What was the worst part? I downloaded TikTok. That was probably the worst part. I'm trying to make a video. Damn, those kids are creative. I got nothing. I have so many discarded videos on my TikTok app where I go, this is stupid. So many of those. Maybe that would be a hashtag one day. Look at this person coming in with a whole light. All right. I love it. Did people always hang out at the park like this? I don't think so, right? This has brought parks back. Like, somewhere there's just like a park ranger so happy right now. They're like, I knew the parks would come back around. This is why I went to 8 years of community college. This badge is real. I wish Mom was alive to see me now. Parks are back, baby. Once things open up, we'll never come outside again. We'll be so happy, like, come back indoors. And it's gonna shut down. I know we kind of opened up again, but we already know. They already did it. They opened up. Why? Because we yelled. Remember the first time? We were just like, we want haircuts. And they're like, all right, go try. And then we went, and then the number spiked up, and they're like, see, you can't. And we're like, damn it. No one knows what to do. The reopening phase is like dealing with like a significant other you got into an argument with. That's how we've been dealing with the reopening phase. When you get in an argument with a significant other, you like go in separate rooms for a couple hours. And then after a couple hours, you come up to the door and you're like, is this okay? And then you walk in slowly and sit down next to her. Is this okay? And then you go to touch her. She's like, don't touch me. You're like, all right, that was where the line was. And I found it. I'm such an idiot, man. I was so optimistic. And that's the worst thing you can be in today's world is optimistic. You will get disappointed every day. Don't wipe the tears away. Keep them running. You're going to need them. Because something else is coming. Just wait. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but that's what I learned. I actually thought this pandemic was going to bring us all together. Because there's a famous quote that says, to bring people together, you need to have a common enemy. And then the virus came around. I'm like, perfect, there's a virus. And then we were together for like 3 days. Remember that? We had like 3 sweet days in March when we were all on the same page. Remember that? All those, like, everyone's like, we're in this together. And celebrities had their phones like, we're in this together. And we're like, yeah, you're in a mansion, but okay. Yeah. We're in this together. We were together for like 3 days, and then the 4th day, someone's like, that virus is a Democrat, and it was over. So we actually made the virus political. We're so awful. And that scares me, because that means we're never going to band together. Like, if the aliens ever do attack, we're not going to band together to fight the aliens. We're just going to be like, oh, let's see how they vote in November. You guys might be on the right side. Figure it out. The world's changed so much just in my lifetime, 33, which to some of you is a million. Okay, maybe not. Maybe there are more people closer to my age. Okay, one guy. Everyone else is pretending to be an actor in Hollywood. Don't let your age out. We can tell. Man, so much has changed in just my life. Like now we have, there's more genders now. We have extra genders, which is cool. I'm a fan of that, by the way, just in case anyone's trying to end my career. I'm a fan of the extra genders. Big fan. Love the extra genders. But I grew up in a time when there was only 2 genders, and now there's more, and I'm all for them. Hell yeah. Support all the extra genders. But there's some people that are against the extra genders, and even though I don't agree with them, I see where they're coming from. Because I went to 12 years of public school, and I was taught that Pluto was a planet. And then a year after I graduated, they're like, Pluto's no longer a planet. And I'm like, too late. You spent 12 years telling me it was. That's a planet forever. And then a few years after that, they came out on the news and like, hey, Pluto's a planet again. And I'm like, that's what I thought. I knew you'd come back around. So I feel like that's what those dudes that are against the extra genders are like, it's coming back around, you just wait. I don't think it is, but you can be mad about something that doesn't matter. I think the problem is I'm a straight man. That's what I am. They call that a cis male. And yeah, it sounds gross, doesn't it? That's my only issue with the extra genders is we got a gross name. Everyone else has a cool name. Because everyone else is just transgendered. Like, oh, you're a superhero? That sounds amazing. I'm pansexual. What? You're a master of the culinary arts? That sounds great. I'm non-binary. You're not even from this planet? Wow! And you're like, what am I? I'm a cis male. Like, ugh, how long do you have to live? Well, I'm white, so about 6 more months, and then they're gonna off us all. Oh boy, it's fun. I don't know if you guys are on the internet reading the comments, but yeah, this virus needs to be a whole lot stronger. Does anyone else get that feeling? Like, I want to go back to my boxing class as much as everybody else, but I'm reading those comments and I'm like, you need to up that. Like, we should stop being mad at people that don't want to wear masks, but we should make them, like, lick a handrail. Like, that's cool. You don't have to wear them. Give me your face right here. All right, we just need to speed this up. Look at that. Moon is beautiful. Look at that. Ah, it's gorgeous. Before this, I never saw the moon. I never said those words in my entire life. What I just said right there? Never once have I just been, when things were normal and I was allowed to get a burrito at 1 a.m., I never just turned and went, wow, the moon is gorgeous today. But when you take everything away, I'm like, man, that thing's beautiful. Look at all those craters. Can you believe it? We went up there. Can you believe that? We went all the way up there. What a stupid thing to do. We went up there in the 60s. What magic have we grown to learn from going on the moon? Nothing. Just every other person's uncle going, we never landed on it. That's all we got out of it. Nothing serious. But it's been good. The best part of this pandemic for me is I got to do it with a girlfriend. If someone's doing this single, I don't know how you're doing it. You must be making a lot of tie-dye t-shirts. I don't know how you're pulling it off. How much banana bread are you baking to get through this single? My girlfriend and I, we've been seeing each other since last October. I don't know how many months that is, but we're coming up on a year. And it's good. It's good. We still like each other. We now know each other, And if you would have talked to me in like the first couple months, I would have been like, We like each other, but we don't really know each other yet. Because, you know, no one's honest in the beginning. Everyone's just showing their best parts in the beginning. You know? No one has road rage in the first 2 months of dating somebody. You ever have that? You're dating someone new and you're in the car, someone cuts you off, and you're like, whoa, wow, all right. I guess that's how some people drive. I see it. You want to follow him? I'm going to follow him. No one's their true self in the beginning. It slowly starts to come out. The first month or so of a relationship is like watching the like a movie trailer, you know? You can watch a movie trailer to any movie, and you're like, this movie looks awesome. We got to see this movie. Then a few months later, you watch the actual movie, and you're like, oh, they left some parts out. Some key points that were not mentioned. It's nice. I like it. When we first started dating, the only thing I didn't like about her is she called me an alcoholic, which I didn't appreciate. The first time she said it, I thought she was joking. Quite honestly, she was like, "You're an alcoholic," and I'm like, "Nah, you know." I thought she was just saying I was a good time, you know? Like, "You're an alcoholic," and I'm like, But then she kept saying it. She's like, "You're an alcoholic," and I'm like, "Oh, all right, yeah." And she's like, "You're an alcoholic." I'm like, "All right, this isn't funny anymore." And she's like, "Oh, I was never joking," and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Why would you call me an alcoholic?" And this was months ago. This was last year. And she's like, well, I was like, "Why would you call me an alcoholic?" And she's like, "Let me ask you, how often do you drink?" And I go, "Every night." And she goes, "See?" And I'm like, "See what? I drink every night because I do this every night. I used to do it indoors, you know? This is part of the job. This is what I do." So I'm like, "Well, let's ask Google." So I pulled out Google, I put in "am I?" and Google was like, "An alcoholic?" And I was like, all right, we're off to a rough start. It's not a good start. But I did find something on Google that said, as a grown man, you're allowed to have 14 drinks per week, so 2 drinks per night, and not be considered an alcoholic. So some weeks, she was right. But she should focus on the week she was wrong. Because I drank every night because I did this every night. I would do a show every night. I would do a show I'd do a show on Thursday, and then I'd drink because it's Thursday, and then I'd do a show on Friday. And it's Friday, I'm gonna drink, and then Saturday, and then Monday I would do a show at a brewery. That's where they make it. I was walking in, they're like, "Would you like a fresh one right off the teat?" I'm like, "Hell yes!" Let's get it going. I don't know, I drank every night because I did this every night. During the pandemic, my alcohol intake has actually gone way down. Weed intake through the roof, but the alcohol intake kind of low, except for when I lay in my baby pool. I forgot to mention that I live in a studio apartment and I have a baby pool. Yep. And I sit in that sometimes and sip White Claws. And my neighbors peek out their window and they're like, "Oh, we didn't know the apocalypse was going to look like that. We thought there would be more hellfire, not just a 30-something-year-old man naked sipping a White Claw." But you know what? It's Tuesday. We're getting it. I want to leave you guys with something positive. Because I said some negative stuff out here, and, you know, because it's the truth. But I want to leave you guys with something positive. We're going to get through this, and it's not even going to be a good story, like I told you. It's not even going to be a good story. But we are going to get through this, because people are resilient, like naturally. Human beings bounce back naturally all the time. And the best story I can tell you to represent that is, I don't know if you remember, but a couple years ago, there was a Southwest flight where a window blew out, and a lady got sucked out of the window, and she died. I know, right now you're thinking, how are you going to make that positive? Well, you have to remember, there was 100 other people on that plane, still went on vacation after that. They bounced back immediately, and so will we. Good night, everybody.